welcome to this week's Torah. In this week's Sedra, we read about the Musar, the rebuke that Moshe Rabbeinu gave to the Jewish people. And Rashi points out, similarly to Yaakov Avinu, where Yaakov Avinu only rebuked his children right before his death, in a similar vein, Moshe Rabbeinu also only rebuked the Jewish people at the end of their lives. And Rashi gives different reasons for that. But I don't want to dwell specifically on the reasons that Rashi gives, but I think the point to dwell upon is a much more important point. And that's the point that criticism is something that needs to be used sparingly. Criticism is something that needs to be used not all the time, not for everybody, and you need to think very, very hard before you criticize. Dale Carnegie, in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, speaks about how people criticize, speaks about how people try to get other people to change their mind and to change their direction by telling them what's wrong with them, by telling them how they should change, by telling them how to be better. And the truth is, they might be able to tell them to be better, they might be able to say this, but the more I criticize, the more I tell you what's wrong with you, the more your internal instinct turns around and says, no, I'm not going to let him tell me what's wrong. I'm not going to allow him to tell me how to live my life. I know what's better. I know how to do it right. And that's why criticism doesn't work. Because people defend themselves. Criticism won't work. And criticism in general won't change people. What changes people is sincere appreciation. And then, after you've given sincere appreciation, after you've shown the person that you understand them, you understand who they are, you understand what they stand for, and that they make such a wonderful, great contribution to this world, maybe if they tweak things just that little bit, then things would be better. And that people are willing to hear, and that people are willing to listen to. And I think it is this that we need to work upon, specifically coming into Tisha B'Av. How many fights and how many arguments have been caused by people criticizing, by people telling other people something that maybe they needed to hear, but very often they didn't even need to hear. And you knew it wasn't going to get anywhere, and you knew you weren't going to get your way with these people. So why are you criticizing? Why are you telling them what to do when in reality they're not listening to you anyway? Start appreciating people. Start complimenting people. Create friends instead of enemies. Create relationships and don't break relationships. And if we stop criticizing and if we stop looking at people critically, and instead of constantly giving them the negative view, we look at them positively. We look at them with a good eye, and we look at them and want to help them and want to be there for them, we will create better relationships. We will create better friendships. And in general, we'll be much better people. I wish you all a very good Shabbos, and I hope you have a meaningful fast.